Hello everyone, this is Mr. Gordon speaking. I've created a short video to support the latest senior phase tracking reports that have just been issued to families. I'm taking this opportunity to explain them in more detail following a request at a recent Parent Council meeting, and this video will hopefully provide further clarity into your young person's progress in their learning. As you'll be aware, we have made some changes to our senior phase reports, and change can sometimes create an initial feeling of uncertainty. A number of high schools in the local authority and across the country are moving away from full written reports. It's not fully the case at Dalkeith High School, but we are in a transitional period at the moment. There's no research that suggests that written reports have significant impact on the achievements of young people. Therefore, the hours gained for teachers are spent on planning high quality and engaging lessons. And as you know, these have maximum impact on the young person's experience, achievements and attainment. Learner conversations have always been at the centre of our reporting process, and this expectation has not changed. Teachers will provide continuous feedback and identifying next steps throughout the session. Any information you want to know about the course that may have been included in the full written reports is actually available on the school website. And also, there are further insight available through Show My Homework and Google Classroom, which identifies a young person's engagement. It can give further insight into their progress and also any feedback. At the moment, we are working smarter and allowing staff more time to spend on planning high quality lessons that allow our young people to flourish. The next thing I'm going to explain is the working grade and target grade in the senior phase reports. The working grade indicates the level of work that your young person is currently producing at this point in the year. At each stage, parents carers should remember that this grade may be lower than expected, particularly earlier in the year, but it should gradually improve throughout the session as more coursework is covered. The target grade is an aspirational grade for your young person, and it indicates the potential final grade that they are capable of achieving. Similarly to the working grade, the target grade can move up and down depending on the progress your young person is making throughout the session. As the year progresses, the tracking report should provide parents and carers with an overview of their young person's progress in each of their subjects throughout different stages of the academic year. The schedule for the senior phase tracking reports should provide an appropriate number of updates throughout the session. So for example, this session, in September you received tracking report 1, which will have given an initial indication of your young person's working grade and target grade. These grades may have been lower than expected, but that is because only 4 or 5 weeks worth of content will have been covered, so therefore a young person cannot, for example, be working grade of an A when only about 5 to 10% of the course has actually been covered. However, November, the second tracking report was received, and this should give a more accurate representation of what they will achieve towards the end. You should be able to see the progression across the September and November tracking reports, and hopefully you will have saw that the working grade and target grade were starting to improve gradually. In December, the formal assessments take place, and then the results are shared in January after the Christmas break. This information is sent home to families to share the overall results for your young person and how they performed across all subjects. On the 25th and the 2nd of February, there was an opportunity for families to speak with classroom teachers, and they would have discussed the quality of learning taking place. We would have discussed the formal assessment results, and importantly, they would have discussed the next steps that the young person needs to take in order to improve their performance and improve on these formal assessment results. You will have just received the tracking report 3, and this is the most up-to-date report in regards to your young person's progress and their working grade and target grade. The most recent, this target grade will provide an indication of hopefully what your young person is capable of achieving in the exams which take place in May and June. Show My Homework and Google Classroom provide further insight into your young person's progress, and assessments are available to look at online, and these are available throughout the session, so there should be continuous feedback taking place. On feedback, learner conversations, target setting and high quality individualistic feedback should be ongoing throughout the year, and this is an integral part of our reporting process, and it's something that we pride ourselves on here at Dalkeith High School. So what I'll discuss now is the actual reports themselves, and you will have a September, a November and a March version of this now. And the working grade and target grade throughout these 3 stages, these tracking reports, will indicate the progress your young person has made. As you can see, the target grade is always more aspirational, is always higher than the working grade. Something that cannot be overlooked is the importance of the value of the effort, behaviour and the homework. Again, this is another indicator for parents and carers in terms of maybe perhaps intervention need to be put in place. So for example, if we're taking an English class here for this particular young person, there's inconsistent effort in class and inconsistent homework. So therefore that may encourage the parent carer to have a conversation with the young person, and it really is, it helps to identify potential issues and perhaps reasons why their target grade is a 6 at this particular point in time, and maybe they're capable of more. Again, for biology and maths, there is a bit of a theme going on here where their homework is inconsistent, and perhaps their working grade of a 7 and a 9 in these 2 subjects could be improved with further homework and further learning taking place at home. So again, these are just things that can trigger conversations at home and to help to support your young person. This is another example of, perhaps the first one was September and this one is now November, and again you will be able to see that there is a significant improvement in regards to certain subjects. So we're now going from a working grade of 7 up into a 5, and the target grade is now a 4, so this young person is aiming for a B. Biology has increased significantly from a working grade of 5 up to a 2 which is an A, and an aspirational grade of a 1, and you'll be able to see that this is the case as well in sport and rec, which has went from a 4 in a working grade to a 3, and obviously target grade is now to achieve an A. And this has all been achieved through improvements in effort, which may be indicated in previous reports. And as you can notice down the right hand side, all of the homework has improved from inconsistent to good, and this again could be another indicator of why these improvements have taken place. You will also progress may not be evident in all subjects, and for example here PE has actually went backwards a little bit, so that may require a little bit more prompting and a little bit more communication from school and parents in terms of exploring why, because effort, behaviour and homework in this particular stage are good. And maths needs improvement in terms of homework, so again that is another indicator of the fact that there's not been any progress within this subject whatsoever. So these are all the things to look out for in terms of the reports. This is an example of an overview throughout the entire year of a young person's progress, like I've just said. So for example, the progress in English for this hypothetical young person is starting off a working grade of a 7, which will be in September, and moving their way through to the next report, which was improved to a 6, so a pass, and then the formal assessment result, which is the green, is a C as well, and then we've had the parents meeting, and then that has then resulted in further improvements up to a 5. So as you can see, the target grade moves appropriately in relation to the working grade. Maths, you can see again another indicator. If we have all of the reports together, then there has been no progress. The working grade continues to be a fail, which is a 9. So therefore further intervention is required. So this is where, for example, the parents meeting, once this has taken place in January, February, then the working grade has actually improved to a 7, and this young person is on the brink of passing maths. So there are different interventions that could be put in place because of these reports, that are highlighted because of these reports, and different young people will respond differently to certain interventions. So therefore the working grade and the target grade have both improved, and this young person is targeting now to get a 5, a low C, rather than failing. The same is here is happening in music, as you can see, improving from a 6 to a 4, and again it looks like parents meetings has had an impact on this young person, and therefore the progress is reflected in the target grade. Again, minimal progression, actually going backwards in P for this young person, so parents evening has not had the same impact in P for this young person in PE, so therefore further exploration is required, and more conversations and communication between parents and the school is maybe needed in order to improve this throughout the year. As you can see, the target grade also reflects this. Biology, significant improvements as discussed in the previous slide, and again, different interventions will have a different impact for young people. And sport and recreation, again, significant progress throughout the year. You can see the working grade has gradually improved throughout the year with the more of the course that has been covered, which is the case generally for this young person. As you can see from this overview of progress throughout the year with all of the tracking reports and the formal assessment results, the indicator at the end, the target grade, the final target grade you receive in the March tracking report will give an indication of what your young person will achieve in the final exams. Obviously, this is an aspirational grade and it is not a final estimate, but it is what at that particular point in March, at the end of February, that your young person is working towards. Hopefully within the time up until the exams in May, that this will actually improve further with further study. However, this is an indication at this point in time. So thank you for listening to this explanation of the Senior Phase Tracking Report. I hope it has been helpful. Please do not hesitate to get in touch if you have any questions about the reports or this presentation, and the best thing to do is to email the school directly at dalkeith.hs@midlothian.gov.uk, and that will get forwarded to me. Thank you.